When you can't see in the dark, you need infrared radio.
Alright, so you think you're ready. Okay, then you say this with me. Go. We were born for this. Alright, so you think you're ready. Okay, then you say this with me. Go. We were born for this.
All right, everybody, welcome to another edition of Infrared Radio here on the PGP Radio Network. And the reason I'm giggling is while the intro was playing, and I'm going to move your camera over so I can see your face over on this second monitor, but you were sitting there and your mouth was like a little open and you were like, oh. You're like, oh. Oh my God, that was the funniest thing ever.
Oh, whatever. I don't care. Some people do TV shows or, internet video shows or whatever, and they got like their makeup and hairs all done. I just rolled out from under a carpet cleaner, cleaning up dog piss and dog hair.
Yeah.
And
oh man,
this is it, baby. This is what you get. I'm the real deal.
Speaking of dogs, man, my dogs and cat has fleas now.
Uh-oh. Not good.
Freaking, you know what, people? If you're going to own animals, okay? This is for you people that don't take care of your damn animals. If you're going to own them, put them on a leash, put them in a fence. Don't let them run around and go up in other people's yards. So where their dogs would get fleas.
Right.
That's what happened. It started with Delilah, then Sammy got it, and then the cat got it. So we got the spray. We're going to spray him, and then next week when we get paid, I'm going to get the pills from the vet. But I'm like, take care of your animals. Don't let them run free.
Right.
He's a yippy.
Spread disease,
Yeah.
worm and shit.
Yeah, and he's a yippy little bastard anyway. So if he comes at me and tries to bite me, I'm going to beat him in the head with my foot. You know what I mean?
Ankle biter.
Fuck yeah, he's a Chihuahua nonetheless. And
Sheldon.
You know how Chihuahuas are. They think they're 10 foot tall and bulletproof. Like, I'm going to kick your ass, big man.
Yeah, Sheldon's a Yorkie, and he's like that now.
Right? But I'm like, come on. Just tie up your dog, man.
All right. Keep your fleas in your own yard. And Ooh, thanks.
Yeah, I cleaned up a couple piles that didn't belong to any of my horses.
Fortunately, Sheldon's poop is the size of a little tiny miniature Tootsie Roll, so it's not a big deal.
But your dog is only that big.
I know, he weighs about 1.5. So
pulling up my fingers is about 1 inch long. That's how big your dog is. I saw a picture where you had Sheldon was laying in front of, what's the other dog's name?
Nemo.
Nemo, that's right.
My 95-pound lab, Nemo kind of cradles him now, so Nemo acts like his mommy, licking him and grooming him and hugging him. And check this out. I was sitting at the table this morning eating my eggs, and I looked down, because always I got beggars, because I love my eggs. And Nemo is laying on the floor in front of me, looking up like, I want some eggs, mommy. And Sheldon is standing on Nemo's back, looking at me the same way. I want some eggs. I'm like, what the actual hell is going on here? And I picked up my camera to take a picture, and then Sheldon jumped down. I'm like, oh my God, that was hysterical.
Right? Animals are funny, man. They really are. Since we sprayed Oliver, he's all butthurt. And Oliver, for you guys, he's our cat. And, he's my cat.
Cats get butthurt anyway.
Right. But no, this cat is a little special. He's not like other cats. I mean, cats are sometimes
oh my God, you're turning into a cat man.
F you, and he's like, some cats are like, I'll let you pet me when I want you to pet me. This cat...
Pet me. Okay, done.
No, not with this cat. This cat lets me hold him like a baby in my chair while I'm watching Netflix on the computer. When we went to go pick this cat out, I walked by the cage that they had him in. And before I could get by, he reached out his paw with his claws and grabbed a hold of my shirt. Okay, and held on to me until I got him out of that cage. And that's how we ended up with Oliver. And
Wow.
I mean, he lets me hold him like a baby. You know, I rub his belly, and he laid all night long last night on top of Deanna. I mean, and he usually doesn't do that. But anyway, I mean, he let me hold him up myself and spray him and comb him. And I mean, he's just that kind of cat. I mean, and he sleeps on my shoulder during the day. That's how, yeah, I mean, he's not a normal cat.
Oh, okay.
But when he gets butthurt, he's butthurt. I mean, that's just legit stuff right there. You know, he's like, So, yeah, he's been. But anyway, you know, it is what it is. We're looking at a new place. Going to check it out again later this afternoon. Different place. And of course, I told you about it. But yeah, fingers crossed. About almost $400 cheaper a month.
Well, it sounds good too.
Well, $315, but the water is included in it, which pushes it up to,
Yeah.
you know, $367 cheaper a month. So looking forward to that. Things are looking up. I got me a new cup with a little straw in it.
Aren't you special?
Yeah. So it got over 100 degrees here yesterday. 100.
Wah.
100 degrees. You know what really makes me mad though is that I couldn't watch the Indy 500 last weekend.
Why couldn't you watch it?
Well, one, we don't have TV.
Oh, well. Duh.
But two, we would have had the opportunity had we still had the actual TV. You see, we just do the internet because that's really all we need.
You couldn't watch it streaming on the internet?
Probably could have, but I'll just listen to it. I don't know.
I listened to it on the radio for 40 years.
Right.
I mean,
yeah.
you know, Q95 always did it on the radio for when I was a kid growing up.
They don't do it anymore, do they?
I don't know who does it, but
I know WIBC does.
Oh yeah, I went to the track.
Yeah, that's all.
It was pretty cool.
Yeah. Can you imagine? And this is kind of a little segue into the paranormal, since we kind of bill ourselves in that genre.
Right.
But can you imagine the spirits in that area at that time of the month?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I mean, my
look
uncle,
how many dudes have died on that track.
right? Let alone like the big fans. Like my uncle passed away a couple of years ago, and he was the whole month of May. He was at the track back when they used to do the whole month long thing. You know, back before
my husband did for years.
Yeah. So I mean, in the month of May, do you come back and hang out at the track and watch all that's going on? You know what I mean? I wonder how many people. I wonder how many paranormal people have thought that.
Well, you know what? You'd think all that energy with all them people. I mean, there was 350,000 plus people there in that one small area condensed. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. It was elbows to buttholes all over the place there. And I mean, the bathrooms ran out of paper towels at 8:30 in the morning.
That's crazy.
But it's like, with all those human beings, all that energy concentrated in one place, and all of it, really amped. A lot of people really jacked up and amped over the race, and all the drivers and all their anxiety, high anxiety. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's got to be like in some other realm. That little spot in our universe, in our reality, had to look like a bug zapper in the dark night. You know what I mean? Just a glow. It had to be attracting all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, I agree. But, it just, I don't know, it amazes me. I've always loved the 500, and I've always listened to it, if not gone to it. Mm-hmm. And then I move out of the freaking state, and they put that shit on television.
How about that? First time in how many years that they took the blackout off?
Yeah.
Because it sold out, and they weren't kidding, man. Mm-hmm. And everything was handled really well, but the shuttle buses leaving afterwards, it was a big giant CF and
Charlie
nightmare.
Foxtrot.
I spent more time standing in line to catch a shuttle bus to get back to my car than I did actually watching the race.
Right.
The race didn't take as long.
Right. And a damn rookie won it. What the hell?
That was kind of cool, though. I mean, I liked how he rolled in on fumes. He was his engine died 30 seconds before he hit the start-finish line. He was out of gas.
That's funny.
But you know what? You got to take a chance. Sometimes taking a chance pays off.
Right. Now I've noticed. and we've talked about it because, for you guys that don't know, Deb and I, we talked during the week. But I was wanting to talk about that UFO over Wright-Patterson.
Yeah, that was crazy looking.
That was crazy. And if I can find a picture of it here real quick, let me...
you can throw that on up into the...
Yeah, you guys will be able to see that mess.
Uh-huh.
Here, let me get my...
It was actually captured on video. And we talked about the shape of it. It wasn't your conventional UFO shape, disc shape, or even some of the other common shapes like, cylindrical cylinders, This was like a chunk of something. But if you think, you said it looked like a piece of a Star Cruiser from like Star Trek or something.
Yeah, yeah.
If you think about it, we think about these things in human terms, what do they call that? Anthropomorphizing. My mouth doesn't work right on those big words. But maybe that's a normal shape wherever this thing came from. I mean, who knows? Just because we don't recognize it as making sense doesn't mean it doesn't make sense somewhere else. So, and it just was strange how it at first I thought it was a balloon.
Right.
Like maybe some kind of weird weather balloon until I got a close-up of it. And it was so angular. No, that wasn't no balloon.
I've never seen a balloon of that shape. Now, I've seen some weird balloons and whatnot because, the kids, and they like their balloons and just whatnot.
Oh, yeah.
But here we go. I've got the picture up on the XSplit. So you guys can see that right now. And that's the shape of what, and there's a video out there, like Deb said, for you guys to go out. Just Google the UFO over Wright-Patterson Air Force Base.
Here, I'll throw you the link to the page. Maybe. Just give it to you? No, what?
Dang on technology. No, I didn't get it yet.
Oh my God. Hold on. What the actual...
But yeah, that's the weirdest thing. And it did, in the actual picture in the video, the way it's in the sky, it looks like part of a Star Destroyer from the Star Wars realm.
Yeah, here you go.
For all you sci-fi fans out there.
Throw that...
Do you want me to actually play the video so I can see it?
Oh, you can if you want to. It's on YouTube. So, did you get the link?
No.
Why in the hell?
It showed that you were typing, but it didn't give you the link. Oh, damn.
There you go. Forget that long... Just the link is at the bottom. I don't know what my clip and paste crap is doing, but... Did you get the link?
I got the link. The video is going
We've got a lot
now.
of people saying that this was not a bird, a plane, or any kind of aircraft that they know of out here in this world today. What you're looking at is an alleged UFO that was caught above Wright-Patterson Air Force Base in Dayton, Ohio. Now, normally when you come across clips like this, one could be very skeptical, but what is interesting about this is not only did the mainstream media pick up with the story and run with it, and I think they did so for one reason solely. This isn't the only clip that shows this. It's not like one person was out there, the only person that saw it, or it could have been CGI'd, because we've seen time and time again that some of these UFO channels, how is it that they just so happen to be the only ones that catch the UFOs all across the globe? And a lot of them have checked out to be CGI and fake. Although there are some cats out there that keep it true. In this instance, this video is...
So yeah, that's what that's about.
I think it's pretty cool.
Oh yeah, I agree. I think it's pretty cool too. And you guys go out and check it out. Just like I said, Google the UFO over Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. There's images on there. There's Ohio UFO video captures weird object and whatnot. But yeah, it was pretty interesting to actually peep it out and kind of just watch what was going on with it. And like Deb and I were talking this week, and I assumed that I don't know if you guys know or not, but we talked about them moving stuff from Area 51 over to Wrights-Patterson in Ohio from, out west. So, oh, interesting stuff, man. I know that the ghost hunters, Jay and Grant and all them went out to Wright-Patterson at one point and did an investigation out there and found some cool stuff. So, I would like to go to Wright-Patterson. I would. But we also found some pretty cool articles out there. And Deb had sent me a couple videos, and I wanted to talk a little bit about that today as well. The time travel video. Deb, why don't you tell our listeners and viewers about the first video, the guy that had the same tattoos?
Oh, yeah. The man's name, hold on. He was from Sweden. I bookmarked this so that I can remember.
But it was really, the story was cool in itself. That
So the guy's from Sweden, and he was fixing his. He found a leak in his kitchen sink, water on his floor. So he went to get under the sink to fix the leak, and as he crawled under the sink, something strange happened to him, and it seemed like the sink turned into a tunnel, and he could see a light at the end of the tunnel, so he continued to crawl through the sink to the other end, and when he got out the other end, he was back in his kitchen, but he was in the future, and his future self, some 70-year-old man, because this guy was like he looked like he was in his 30s, maybe.
Yeah, mid 30s, maybe.
Yeah. And he talked with his future self, and he had his cell phone with him. So he took pictures and videos of him and his future self as an old man. And in one of the videos, you see them look at each other. The man had a very distinct tattoo on his arm, and the future self also had this very distinct tattoo on his arm. And they look like father and son. And it was very strange, and nobody was able to really dispute the videos or the pictures that he took. And I don't know how long he was actually in his future before he went back into the sink. But I've read different articles about this. Some people claim that this was a viral video and used by a company who sells life insurance, which seems if you think about it, that brilliant marketing, very creative, that would be cool. But then I've read other read other articles and things about it that said, the company did buy this, this video stuff from this guy to use in this viral ad, but the guy still claims that he stands by his claims of how he came about this video.
Right.
That he still claims that this video is genuine, that he took it and that was him. So I don't really know what to think. I'm such a sucker for a good time traveler story, and I'm still obsessed with John Titor. Can't find anything else about him, just the same old stuff. That
now, for our viewers that don't know, why don't you tell them about John?
Oh, John Titor.
Uh-huh.
He was a man that showed up in the early 2000s on some BB boards about he was allegedly from 2059 or something like that, 2039, and he was in the military, and he was in a special ops of the military that used time travel, and that he had to go back to like the 70s and get some kind of IBM old dinosaur-y computer that they couldn't get anymore then, because they had to do something with Unix or something on this computer that and it was like to avert how the Y2K was coming up, and people were freaking out like all the computer systems were going to jack up on Y2K.
Right.
Well, the same thing was going to happen in like 2039 with the computer systems, unless he went back in time and got this other computer that's no longer available, and to fix this mess anyway. So the dude, so he was on these boards and talking about being a time traveler and all that, and people started asking a bunch of questions, and he started answering about what it was like there. And he described people were like, how can you be a time traveler and, you know, what about, you know, messing up the future by messing up the past or whatever. He explained that there were different timelines and different worlds, and even if he did something in this timeline that he was in now, it necessarily wouldn't affect the timeline he came from, which would be slightly different. That I mean, the things that he said were so outrageous, and yet they made so much sense. And
Right.
I mean, you can go online and you can Google John Titor, Titor, and you could read. Some people have built websites where they have collected up everything that he printed on all these built bulletin boards and put them all together on one website. And apparently, and there was even a lawyer. The guy was from Florida. John Titor was from Florida, and people actually contacted the people who he said were his family that are still there now.
Right.
And there was some talk about, and they hired an attorney, which I thought was curious. Why in the hell would you do that? They hired an attorney, and the mother set up some kind of a fund. I think that she was going to write a book or something. They never said that this wasn't true.
Right.
But they were very protective and quiet, closed mouth. You know what I mean? It's just all real strange. Go online, Google it up, read all the stuff that he wrote. I swear you will be fascinated with it. And it will make you think. You know, I don't know whether it was true or not. I mean,
yeah.
My brain works like, I think that anything is possible in this world. Just because that we can't fathom it or imagine it doesn't mean it isn't real or hasn't happened or isn't true. We just might not be wired to pick it up. Like you can't pick up television signals with a radio. You know what I'm saying?
Right, yeah.
We're limited by our what we have to use as our tools to perceive the things that go around us.
Right.
So I like to kind of think outside of the box and think of possibilities that other people don't think about. So I kind of tend to think that stuff like that could be real somewhere.
Right.
You know, I'm just fascinated by it. We were talking about that last week, and I got to looking around some more to see if anything else had ever come of any of it, and it hadn't.
Right. But one of the cool stories that you flew my way actually today was famous people who had seen or had UFO experiences, which I thought was pretty crazy cool, actually. And the more I thought about it, like one of the first ones on one of the lists that you gave me was Billy Ray Cyrus. And honestly, if you look at his daughter, he might have made it with some ETs. I'm just saying, Miley is a little weird. But
yeah.
One of the cool things that, and I don't know if your listener, you know, if the listeners know this or not, but 2 out of the presidents within my lifetime have come forth and said that they've had UFO experiences. And that's really, really cool to hear, is that, okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and start talking about this. And it's not just them. I mean, astronauts that have been in outer space to the moon and whatnot have come forth and said, yeah, they're UFOs and what, you know. I would still like a full, definite view of one. You know, I really wish that someone would come down and like be like, "Hey, how are you doing? I'm whatever name from whatever planet. Do you have any questions for me?" Dude, I got a bunch of questions.
Yeah, you know, I think there's a whole lot more than that. I think that the coming down from another planet up there somewhere, somehow using a wormhole or time warp or whatever, and coming from outer space, I think that's possible. I'm 100% certain there's life out there besides us that is just as or more intelligent than we are and capable of more than we're capable of.
Right.
Okay, I don't know that UFO sightings are all that.
Mhm.
I think some of them are time travelers. Some of them are people who have, or I call them people, beings or other life forms that have managed to come from another dimension. You know what I mean? I think it's a whole bunch of stuff, not just UFOs from outer space. You know what I mean?
Right.
That I think as human beings evolve, our perceptions and our ability to perceive is going to evolve and going to get better, and we're going to see more, and we're going to be able to sense more and know more, and no more things will come to us.
Right.
One of the celebrities, it's timely and fitting, and we just lost Muhammad Ali. You know,
Right.
he just passed away a couple of days ago. One of the best boxers on the planet. He had UFO sightings. He had more than one.
Mhm.
I've some reports that he had as many as 8 to 10 to 18 different UFO sightings that he reported over the years. But it said here he always has believed in aliens, and he's claimed to have seen many buzzing around the skies in his lifetime. One memorable occurrence happened one day when he was out in New York City's Central Park. He said he saw a bright light appear over his head, which followed him for as long as he could. His friend and his trainer, Angelo Dundee, was with him that day, and he also saw the same apparition in the sky. Not only did they see it, but so did many other people later that night, including an airline pilot who reported seeing it while touching down at Newark at the same time. So, Muhammad Ali, you know,
Right.
was
Yeah.
a UFO observer. Ronald Reagan,
Right.
you know,
Something.
he made the famous speech about
Yeah.
what if, you know, how would all the governments of the world come together if we were all faced with one, you know, invading force from outside of this planet, you know?
Yeah, but I don't think we'll ever have to really. I mean, I don't think it'll be invading. I mean,
No.
if we had more to offer on a technical level, if we had more to offer than the young, violent species that we are right now,
I know.
Then
was
I could
thinking that the
probably
other day,
see
you know, human beings are actually quite dangerous and unstable.
yes,
So if I were an observer from somewhere else, let's say, it would behoove me to remain as invisible as possible while I observe, because these motherfuckers are crazy.
right,
I mean, look what they do to each other. Look what they do to other life forms here on this planet. God, if we scared them, which we probably will, what are they going to do to us? You know what I mean? So I would lay back and I would assess the situation, and then decide that I would probably do something covertly, which is what perhaps has been going on for a long time with the UFO abduction phenomenon. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah,
And that's why they don't come and land on the front lawn of the White House and say, hey, take us to your leader. Because they know damn good and well that, number one, we're probably infected with some god-awful bacteria that we don't even realize we have.
Right.
Or number two, we'd kill them because we're crazy.
exactly.
So why would any intelligent species even remotely consider coming out forward like that? That's ridiculous. To anybody to even suggest that shows they ain't thinking.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So,
Take me to your leader.
Right.
Which one?
yeah.
Who are you
Yeah,
talking
because
to?
y'all are crazy.
Right.
You don't even know who your leaders are.
Yeah, we don't know who's leading this shit. So,
Mm-mm.
I mean, come on, really? But something that fascinated me as well is that, and I never knew this until you showed me this list, but John Lennon.
Yeah.
I mean, and from what you were saying, that he was pretty well.
He was very into the UFO thing.
Yeah, yeah. And he says it was 1974 when he was standing on top of his New York apartment. He described a flying saucer that hovered over his window for a few moments, and his girlfriend at the time, May Pang, reached for a camera and took a picture, but nothing showed up in the images, which is not as crazy as what you might think, because I've had my personal experiences myself, have taken pictures of something that I have seen with my eyes, and then go back to do the data review after an investigation and it not be there. The same goes with audio files as well. Sometimes it's meant for your eyes, and that's all it's meant for. It's not meant to be documented. And I think a lot of people run into that. I think it's more common than what we think.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Did you see Will Smith's son Jaden asked President Obama one time if UFOs were real?
Mm-hmm.
And President Obama said, in true presidential style, that he could neither confirm nor deny the existence of UFOs. So I thought that was rather cool. And you know what? Bill Clinton is another one. He's not on any of the lists that we have, but I've seen him speak of it before. And actually, he is open to the whole. He's interested in it in some form and is curious.
Right.
He hasn't poo-pooed it or laughed at it. You know what I mean? He has actually seriously said he would like to know, and if there was anything he can find out that he would know, he would be one that would release it to the public because he thinks everybody should be aware of this. It goes beyond. It goes beyond politics or even religion. Right. I mean, this is the biggest story in the history of life on this planet.
Right, and this is one of the things that bothers me about the UFO stories. I mean, who are they to judge whether I can handle something or not?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And the stories that I've always heard is that, well, the reason they really not made it public, put it out to the public, is that they don't want mass hysteria. And I don't necessarily believe that would cause mass hysteria, especially with the movement of paranormal believers and UFO believers and the investigators that they have now. It's a lot different than what was, first decided upon in the 50s with Roswell. Right.
We have come a long way as a species in 30 years as far as becoming open to the notion that there is other life out there and they are just as developed as we are, if not more. It's and that isn't by accident, I must say. Also, I sincerely believe that ever since what happened during the War of the Worlds radio broadcast, we have been systematically conditioned.
Right.
Over the ages, over the decades with commercial and media, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we've been systematically desensitized to the entire subject so that, when it does become more widely known, there won't be as many people jumping off buildings. Right. There's still going to be some because this knowledge will rock the very foundation of their paradigm and their life. I mean, especially the people that are deeply religious.
Right.
It's going to screw that up pretty good.
Right. But, I mean, and I don't know, though. I mean, your faith is your faith. I mean,
well, it wouldn't affect me, but my faith is different.
Right.
But some people are of the belief that all this is demons and stuff.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. And it's not. It has nothing to do with religion,
right.
as far as I'm concerned. But
right.
a lot of people are going to make that association,
Yeah, because people are wackadoodles.
Incorrectly.
Yeah, people are wackadoodles.
Right.
I mean, fanatically wackadoodle. And it's like, come on, man. It's not even that deep.
It ain't that deep, man.
It's just aliens.
People always used to ask me when I would go and give talks, how can I believe in God and believe that aliens are real? I'm like, dude, they ain't got nothing to do with each other.
Right.
And why would you even think that? Mm-hmm. Oh, well, they say they're demons. No, they're not. They're not demons. You don't even know what demons are.
Right.
I mean, I have more faith in the fact that extraterrestrials exist than I do demons exist. I think sometimes the only demons exist are the ones that are in human spirit. Look at what we do to each other that are so evil and vile.
Yeah, I have to totally agree with that statement.
But, it has nothing to do with religion or anything else. It's science.
Right. And, I was going to mention, mathematics was created by man. And the reason I say this is because I've been on, of course, the binge watch on Netflix, and I was watching Star Trek. Right. Well, no. This is the TNG. Yeah, I've seen all the originals, and I've seen all of the Next Generation.
Yeah.
Started to watch Voyager. I had to cut that crap off. I couldn't get behind Voyager. It was just like, wow, this isn't nearly as. It was more Sci-Fi Channel than it was Star Trek.
Yeah.
But anyway, they're talking about, and even in one of the videos that I watched today, where they're talking about physics being a part of time travel. I mean, how can they calculate a man-made tool to try to document like time travel? Do you see where I'm going? You see what I'm trying to say? It's like, how is it that, okay, has nothing to do with mathematics. It has nothing to do with, I mean, and I'm going to probably get a lot of backlash. It doesn't even have to do with science. It is what it is. If there is time travel, there is some kind of quantum anomaly that is going on that we can't really fathom. I mean, we can pretend to, like I said, with physics and quantum physics and this, that, and the other, but we don't have a nailed to the ground, etched in stone science that can even begin to explain it. And these guys are out here trying to explain it. And it's not even definitely been proven as fact. And I'm like, wow, man. I mean, I don't understand that. I don't get that. I guess maybe a leap of faith. I don't know.
I don't know.
But I mean, I'm not. What I'm not saying is that none of it is real, because obviously it is. I mean, there are weird things above the normal paranormal stuff that can't be explained, and it's just like we talked about when we're on investigations. Let's look at it for what it is. It's paranormal. A lot of the times, people get in a conflict with themselves trying to disprove everything, instead of just okay. Dog. That's what it is, But I don't know.
I'm not very good on math, and I'm fascinated with quantum physics and string theory and all that other exciting stuff, but I don't quite know exactly how it all comes together and works.
Right, yeah.
But I know that everything that we perceive through human eyes and human experience and human knowledge is human. And we can't necessarily attach that to any other life force or life outside of human realm, because we have no concept of it,
right,
or what it could be. You know what I mean? Just like what carbon-based life. Okay, everything they say, everything is carbon-based. Well, what happens if it's silicone-based? Can it be silicone-based on another planet? Look at all of those little life forms. I can't even remember what they're called. Little single-cell things that have been experimented on and actually have been proven to survive in the void of space and then come back and reanimate. Things that live in the depths and pressures and cold of a mile down below the sea. And you know what I mean? Where they said no life could be in the heat of a volcano, in this core of the earth. All these things that life can flourish in, and it doesn't necessarily have to be anything that we recognize. I mean, I'm just saying that the sky is the limit on. We can say all we want to say about how it's not feasibly possible based on our scientific knowledge, but our scientific knowledge is just a grain of sand on the beach of existence. You know what I mean? Nothing. We don't know. I mean, I'm just like, I'm in awe of all that could be possible.
Right.
My brain just kind of locks up and starts floating around.
Yeah,
sort of like when I drink a beer.
Oh, good God. Like how you were looking at the camera like that.
Yeah, like I was looking at something on the internet and see how mesmerized I was.
Right.
I blame Facebook for the downfall of the American populace.
The world populace.
The world, but America really went to hell in the handbasket. Jesus.
Yeah.
I'm about to, now I'm not even going there, never mind.
Well, it just, you know.
I'm not even gonna go there. I
Right.
don't want to piss anybody off.
You know, I would really like to be able to do some time travel and go into the future. Not, I mean,
Oh my
just-
God, me too. I'd like
just-
to smack a couple of people around and say, "What were you thinking? Look at this."
You will not procreate right now, right? No, it's just to go 10 years in the future and just to observe, to see the changes, and as far as everything, because it's going to get worse before it gets better. I totally believe that.
Yeah.
You know, it reminds me of a movie that Lee Majors. Damn, what the hell?
What?
Does all banging around.
My bad.
I was like, dang, your camera shook. It was like an earthquake. I thought, oh, shh. Lee Majors made a movie back in, I don't know if it's the late 70s or early 80s, where they had banned fossil fuel. And he had a gasoline-powered car. It was in the future. And they were running, I can't remember the name of the movie now, but they had got rid of all fossil fuel machines.
Which
But-
they should.
Right, but you know, and I wonder too. I mean, in 10 years, is that going to happen? You know, I mean,
Well, if it
what
don't,
changes? What changes are coming that we're unaware of, and that right there is just enough to make me shiver a little, because I mean, we don't know. I mean, we were talking. A buddy of mine, we were talking Friday or Saturday about how we liked Halloween. You know, Halloween is awesome, right?
Yeah.
Remember being a kid and being able to walk through your neighborhood with just your friends and your costumes and walking up to strangers' doors and knocking and not having to worry about getting tainted, you know, candy, not worried about getting snatched up into somebody's house and held captive, and not have to worry about walking down the street and somebody grab you in a non-windowed van. You know what I mean? And what's sad, and this is what I tell them, so what's sad is my kids never knew a world that they didn't have to think about that.
I know, mine didn't either.
You know, my grandkids, if I ever have any, will never know that world. I
Yeah,
mean,
it's sad.
cell phones and computers weren't around then.
I didn't have my first cell phone till I was in my 30s.
Yeah?
I didn't have my first computer till I was in my 30s.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't even know how to turn one on. Could have cared less.
Right?
Balanced my checkbook with a pencil and a piece of paper.
Yeah.
Wrote my checks and mailed my bills with the stamp. You know.
Rotary phones.
Yeah, I had to remember phone numbers. You know, I haven't remembered a damn phone number in 15 years.
Yeah, I know. I know. Isn't that crazy?
And it made my brain soft.
Right. And you know, and like I said, and then makes me think, well, what the hell? What's happening
Yeah.
in 10 years? You know, how far in a technological state will we be in? Because we used to go out until the light came on and the street light came on. And then you better get your ass home when that light came on. You know, and we would play baseball and kickball and football all in the fields. Only thing we really had to worry about back then was getting something to drink, not getting bit by the snakes in the creek that was next to where we were playing football, and going home when the light came on.
And we drank out of the garden hose when we were
Yes!
thirsty.
Hell yeah. You say that to a kid now, and they're like, what?
Right.
Are you crazy?
Yeah, yeah. The world has changed.
Yeah.
And I wonder how it'll change in another 10 years.
Right?
And I'll be 10 years older and 10 years crankier. My brain will be 10 years softer.
Oh, I'm going to be that old crotchety bastard on the front porch. Get off my lawn!
I'm already that old broad who doesn't take shit from anybody anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
You lost your filter, did you? No, that's bullshit.
I really never had much one.
That's what I was
It's
gonna
gone
say.
now.
Now, as long as I've known you, you've not ever had a filter like that. You know? That
Yeah.
could be why we get along so well. I'm just saying. But yeah, you know, it would be fascinating to see, just to be able to have that option. But I mean, and then you wonder too, like dreams of stuff that have yet to come. Maybe is that you subconsciously? Because you've had deja vu dreams before, right?
Oh, yeah.
You know, I mean, I've had dreams where, you know, I'm somewhere walking the dog, doing whatever, and And then when that moment comes, it's like, oh crap,
I did this already.
I've done this already, you know. And I mean, is that a form of time travel? I wonder.
I don't know.
Subconsciously, because I believe that your subconscious has the ability to do much more than your physical being anyway.
And where do you go where does your consciousness go when you sleep?
Right. Yeah.
You know, just because you don't remember it when you wake up, maybe it's made, the filters are made that way so
Right.
that you don't get confused between there and here,
Right.
you know? But maybe you go somewhere else when you sleep.
Yeah, that's an interesting question.
I mean, this book I'm about to read, and I told you about this.
Yeah,
come back
tell
on
us.
future shows because I just downloaded this book, okay, from Kindle. I just heard about it. I'm sure it's been around for a while. Come on, wake up so I can get the title of this thing. It's called Chronicles from the Future, The Amazing Story of Paul Amadeus Danash. And this book is actually translations of a man's journals that he wrote over years after he got sick in the 20s. He developed some kind of a sleeping sickness and he was in coma for about a year. And when he woke up, he claimed that not only was he not unconscious, that he was conscious aware that he had actually traveled out of his body and into the body of a man in the future. And that the people in the future recognized and were aware of this ability, and so recognized him as a spirit that had traveled from the past and educated him on the future and told him about things. Well, he wrote all this stuff in his journal when he woke up, and he kept it to himself for years because he was afraid people would think he was crazy. Just shared it with a very few people. One of those people was affiliated with the Masons, and the Masons he gave it to them, and they promptly locked it down, felt that the information in it was too much for people of the time, and they labeled this guy a prophet. He was sickly his whole life, left after that, befriended this man who then translated all of his journals from his original language. I think it was Swedish, I'm not sure. Anyway, and he, and then this fella died, Dinesh died. This man eventually, he tried to make the information public in the 70s and was labeled a heretic and some other things, and it was shut down. And now it's been brought out to the public in the form of this book. And I just bought it on Amazon Kindle. I'm going to read it this week, and I'm going to tell you what this guy says about the future. And he went far. He went to like 39 something, way out there. So this is going to be interesting. You know, could be a fascinating fantasy from a man whose mind didn't work right, or it could be real. I don't know.
Right.
I'm not judging. I'm just going to read it and see how it feels. But I'm excited to read it. I stumbled upon this while looking for information on John Titor and the Swedish guy that met his older self, you know.
Right.
And I'm like, oh, cool. So come back and next week or so, next couple shows, we'll talk about it. I'll tell you what I found. Be interesting.
It will be interesting, and definitely wanting to hear. What I was looking at was the story on Ronald Reagan and the UFO sightings.
Mm-hmm.
If the public at large had known about Ronald Reagan's UFO sightings, would he still have been elected president? Who knows? What we do know, he would have. It was before his presidency, he was overheard by actress Lucille Ball speaking at a guest dinner that had arrived too late. Apparently on his way there, he and Nancy had witnessed a UFO on the highway down from L.A. They proceeded to get out of their car and watch it. And 74 was his second sighting while he was flying a plane as the governor of California. He looked out the window to see a bright light flying near the aircraft. The pilot saw the UFO as well, decided to follow it around for a while before the glowing object suddenly flew into the heavens and out of sight. At the time, he was not alone in his experience, and everyone on the plane was baffled by what they had just witnessed. And that was Ronnie Reagan. You know what I'm saying? I mean, for real.
I know.
We'll break off here in about 5. But yeah, I mean, and like the UFO that you showed me from Georgia, I was on I-20, which is just up the road from me.
Yeah.
You know, in Augusta. And, you know, I've seen lights and stuff in the sky. I've seen weird things that hadn't been satellites.
Oh, yeah.
Satellites don't make 90-degree moves.
No, I've seen that too.
Yeah. But I have seen at one time, I had to take the kids back to Seymour late. And it was, get away, cat. He was going to jump right up here. So it was dark out, and I'm on 65 in between Seymour and Franklin. And if anyone knows that stretch of road in Indiana, it's dark.
Yeah, it is.
It is super dark. So
it's scary.
And of course, there's an army base out that way. Atterbury, Camp Atterbury is what it's called. But anyway, I'm cruising up 65, and I happen to look up, and going opposite direction, going southbound. I was going northbound. The bottom of this aircraft looked exactly like something that you would see out of a UFO movie or like Star Trek, Star Wars. The bottom wasn't, smooth. It was boxy. There was lights on the bottom of it. It looked like, a propulsion system of some sort. I saw it, and I passed under an underpass. It was passing over an overpass just as I was coming, out. But I didn't see it past the overpass behind me.
Creepy.
So it was creepy. So, I mean, yeah, it probably went straight up. Black helicopters, they're real. I'm just saying, just so you guys know.
Oh, Lou, yeah, I got videotape and pictures of them super close.
Yeah. So just so everybody's
close you can
that.
see the dude in it flying it. And there are no numbers or any other distinguishing markings on it whatsoever.
Right. Exactly. So, yeah, keep your eyes to the sky. I do want to talk about, not this show, but in the upcoming shows, a little bit more about the time travel stuff, and then Deb will tell us about the book that she's going to read and focus on that. If you guys have any questions about the show or anything that we've talked about today, hit us up, wpgpradio@gmail.com is where you can get a hold of us at. Staffmpr@gmail.com as well. And yeah, so we're going to get on out of here because I got to go look at a place to live. Peace! All right, thank you. So you guys take care. Remember, check us out next week. YouTube, Ustream, Podomatic, and all that good junk. It'll take me a couple days to get the pod page up, but I'll have the video up today. So, all right. Well, you guys have a great day. Thank you for hanging out with Deb and me.
Yep.
We'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
You've been listening to Infrared Radio here on the PGP Radio Network. Join Deb and Greg every Saturday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, WPGP, Digital Radio, Augusta.